This past weekend was not a good start for the Jacksonville Jaguars season and Urban Meyer's tenure as the head coach of the Jaguars. Urban Meyer, as you know, is one of the most successful college football coaches of the past 2 decades, winning 3 national championships at 2 different schools in Florida and Ohio State. But the NFL was that final stop in his coaching journey that seemed like the challenge that he wanted to face after recently going into broadcasting. But being an NFL head coach is not something that is very easy to do, especially getting wins in the National Football League. And before this season really had started, rumors had started to swirl, and there was a lot of smoke around the Jaguars organization on what type of program Urban Meyer was running, and it's really starting to feel like things have not gone very well. And watching the Jaguars this past Sunday against the Texans, it's starting to feel like those rumors are maybe a little bit true. So I wanted to talk about just everything that has gone wrong for the Jaguars entering this season. Despite getting Trevor Lawrence in the draft, the guy that is really supposed to save their franchise, things have just not gone very well there, and it seems like there's just a lot of distractions going on in Jacksonville that need to be discussed. Now, I didn't want to make a video like this. I wanted to wait until the Jaguars started to play more, but after watching them this past Sunday, I think it's finally time to talk about it. But before I get into everything about Urban Meyer and the Jaguars, if you could hit that subscribe button for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave a like on this video, it helps out with the algorithm. And lastly, hit me up over on Twitter, where I talk about all things sports related. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about Urban Meyer. So Urban Meyer is a coach that I actually really like, especially as a college football coach. I thought he did some incredible things while he was a head coach in college football, and I was intrigued to see him coach in the NFL, that's for sure. But after hearing all of these rumors and the headlines for the Jaguars this upcoming season, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about Urban Meyer and his tenure with the Jaguars and how long this is going to last. So coming into this season, there's been a couple of things that the Jaguars have done that have not been great. And first off, it starts out with hiring Iowa strength coach Chris Doyle, who was actually accused of racism and bullying. That was just not a good hire to make. Those accusations were out there. You can't start off your NFL head coaching journey hiring somebody like this. That was not a good look. Then, more as of recently, these are the things that have just happened in the past couple of weeks. He said that he was going to cut players for not being vaccinated, which, sure, that's something that every team is taking into account. That's not like some crazy statement. The only problem is that he actually made the statement. You can't come out and say something like that out loud. That's just a huge no-no. You can't do that. Even if every NFL team is taking that into consideration, you cannot say something like that out loud. And then when it comes to roster decisions, they've made some massive mistakes. Maybe hiring Trent Baalke as the general manager was not a great move. He was somebody that obviously hired Jim Tomsula to become the head coach of the 49ers, had a rocky relationship with Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if that was a great move, and I'm saying that because look at some of the roster moves they've made recently. Trading Gardner Minshew for a bag of rocks was just a horrible decision. The Eagles got a steal getting Minshew for that. I honestly forgot all about the whole Tim Tebow situation. Then watching him in the preseason try to be a tight end was just an absolute disaster. It's like, these are just things heading into the season that have nothing to do with them playing. All of these things, not good. Basically, every other rookie head coach doesn't have this long of a list of things. And these aren't even like rumors or anything. These are all legit things that have happened. There's plenty of rumors coming out of Jacksonville that need to be discussed that I'm going to talk about that just completely add on to this list. Now, I did openly say that I wasn't going to talk about this until the Jaguars started playing some games. I thought Urban Meyer was actually going to do pretty decent in the NFL, but getting torched by the Houston Texans and David Culley, a first-year head coach, a wide receiver coach, I might add, not even like a head coach. And then the Texans, we all know their struggles this past offseason. Losing to them 37-21 in your season opener is a horrible look. I mean, 15 minutes into his first NFL career game, Urban Meyer trailed the worst team in the league by 2 touchdowns. It was not a good start. It didn't end well. It was a disaster. And this is not at all what I expected the Jaguars to be heading into the season. I thought Urban Meyer was going to come in there, turn things around, build new facilities, help improve that brand for Jaguars football. You know, the Jaguars are probably the smallest market in the NFL. No offense to any Jaguars fan. It's just the obvious that needs to be stated. So they needed something that could really rally the area, a team that they could cheer for, like that team that went to the AFC Championship game against the Patriots. And getting Trevor Lawrence really, really helps. That speeds things up very quickly. The way they've started out this season, it just looks bad. And in that game against the Texans, the Jaguars just looked horrible. And I don't want to even overreact. They really did look bad. They had missed tackles, stupid penalties, horrible offensive line play, and Trevor Lawrence, a guy who's never lost a regular season game in his high school or college career, did not look good, and that was his first loss. When it comes to like who they played, I mean, James Robinson ran the ball 5 times. Like, how can you use a weapon like that only 5 times in the game? I don't know. It just looks like they got really outcoached by the Texans. That's the worst part. They got outcoached by the Texans. I mean, a coach that's already looking this stressed out on the sidelines. I mean, looking at those offensive woes on that stat sheet, it does not look good. Those are not great stats. It was a horrible weekend for Ohio State coaches. I mean, Meyer obviously, and then Ryan Day losing to Oregon. Not a great start for either of those two. It really was a disaster performance. Like, what exactly happens when the Jaguars have to play a team that's supposed to be one of the best in the NFL? Like, what happens when Urban Meyer goes up against like some of the best coaches like Andy Reid or Bill Belichick, Sean Payton, guys like that? It's just very concerning. I didn't want to address this topic. I thought that it was just overblown. I also thought that maybe somebody had something against him because all these stories all at once, it just seemed like something didn't seem right. However, after watching them play, I mean, good grief, it's not a good start. I'm not going to be lying to you guys. It's not a good start. And the Jaguars really need to pick up their play because it really feels like every week they're doing damage control because of the things Urban's saying or doing. And then reports came out on Sunday. Oh my goodness. Jason Lockenfor, now whatever you think of this article, you can have your own opinion to it, but this is what he said. He reported on a lot of issues within the Jaguars organization. First off, there's been repeated issues with coaches on the staff. Urban Meyer's temper is another thing. His lack of familiarity with how the NFL calendar works. It seems like they're having problems with scheduling things, like being on time in terms of when to do things at what time. He also has been rubbing Jaguars staff and players the wrong way. There's been a disconnect between members of his staff with pro experience. The morale for the team has really suffered because of like outbursts by Urban. He's made fiery remarks to his players and coaches, questioning if they'll be employed by the team for very long. It just feels like everybody has to look over their shoulder all the time around Urban, and it seems like he's a little bit unhinged at times. He's way too easily irritated, and he does not handle losing well, even in the preseason. I mean, this is a guy that hates losing so much because at Ohio State he only lost 9 games, and at Florida he only lost 15 games. And my cause for concern is he's probably going to lose more than 9 games this season with the Jaguars. Heck, if things go really bad, he could lose even more than 15. I highly doubt that happens, but this is a guy who's going to have to get through that losing stretch with this team because they're going to endure something like that, and I'm just a little bit concerned if he's going to be able to handle this. It also seemed like he was losing his mind in drills. When it came to somebody like not doing something right, then he would want to take over the drill. It just seems like there's a lot of smoke there, and you know how the saying goes, when there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not saying that Urban Meyer is going to get fired. I'm not even saying that he's going to step down. This is just something that needs to be addressed. Now, there has been good things that have come out of Jacksonville. It looks like Trevor Lawrence really likes Urban. I'm also seeing somebody like a Chris Van Hertz, their tight end, who actually caught a touchdown on Sunday, praised Urban Meyer with a quote like this. He said, quote, "Me personally, he's hard on everybody, but at the same time, he's one of those coaches that makes you want to run through a brick wall for him. He has a standard and a culture he is implementing here, and a lot of the guys are buying into it, which is great. He's one of the coaches that gets you rallied up and demands excellence, and mediocrity to a degree is unacceptable. Excellence is non-negotiable for him. That's one of the things that I love about it. Keeps us all accountable." Now, is that just general coach speak? You could say that. I've also seen a lot of people say that about Urban Meyer. He definitely is somebody that take things very seriously. That's why he gets so upset about losing. It really weighs on him because he really takes this very seriously. Maybe this is the wrong approach for how to do it within the NFL. Somebody like a Brandon Staley, who I just have praised the world of, he's doing a fantastic job, but doing it differently with the Chargers. He's being more accepting, more uplifting, and trying to make his players better with actual teaching, where I don't know if Urban Meyer is actually doing that. It seems like he's just trying to get guys fired up and trying to teach them that way. Doesn't always work, especially within professional sports. It just seems like maybe that's a coaching technique that is in the past. Even if it works for some guys, it's not going to work for the majority of the locker room. So even if Chris says something like this, I don't know if I can take that and think that's what the entire locker room would think about Urban Meyer. Again, I definitely praised this hire when it happened. I thought that Urban was going to come in there and really spark something within the Jaguars organization and the city. He's such a big name. He's a Florida coach as well, coached with the Gators. I just thought that this was like a perfect hire for that type of thing. But if he can't get the locker room figured out and he's just making a lot of mistakes early on, and if he can't handle losing, I don't know if this is going to work. Obviously, this was going to be a losing organization early on. They just don't have the talent to be one of the best teams in the NFL, that's for sure. So I don't know why the losing will be the biggest issue for him. Just seems like all these other issues that have been happening, and especially watching how this team played against the Texans, the worst organization in the NFL right now, there is a lot of cause for concern. Like, what happens when they play one of the better teams in the NFL? So that's going to do it for this video about Urban Meyer. Again, I hope this gets better. I think it will. Urban's such a good coach. I highly doubt that they can't string off any sort of wins this season and it's just a complete disaster, but time will tell and we'll find that out very shortly. Again, thank you for watching. If you could, hit that subscribe button for me, leave a like on this video. Make sure you hit me up over on Twitter where I talk about all things sports related. Thank you for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. The NFL is back, better than ever, and I'm having a blast watching football again. Hope you are too. I will see you in the next video. Peace.